You are Black in the Green Room with me, your host, Keith Underwood. And this is your spot for real talk about entertainment with entertainers, creatives, and showbiz professionals. Today, I'm honored to sit down with a true powerhouse in music, LaTocha, from her iconic beginnings with the legendary group Xscape to now stepping fully into her solo artistry. LaTocha is showing us all what evolution looks like. She's set to release her brand new single, Love Unchanged, a soulful and powerful record that speaks to her growth and resilience. As she gears up for a promotional tour, including a stop right here in Los Angeles, she's ready to share not only her music, but her journey. LaTocha, what's up and welcome to the room.
Oh, thank you, Keith. What's going on, man? I'm just blessed to be here.
Yeah, me too, me too.
Yes.
So what's happening good right now, right here in LaTocha world?
Life is happening. Good
Yes.
things, good people. People are hitting me online. I think once I came back out with the song Residuals, right? I did the cover of Chris Brown's that challenge, right? So I
Mm.
went to the studio and I was like, I'm gonna come from my heart, sing from my heart. And it has reached so many different people. I'm excited just by them sharing their stories with me, just by me going on and doing that song. A lot of great things have happened. So listen, I'm just in a good space.
All right, all right. So, let's talk a little bit about this new single, Love Unchanged. What's the story behind it, LaTocha, and how does it represent where you are in your life and your music right now?
Well, the title of the song is called Love Changes, and it is
Ah,
it's all about the transformative power of love. So we all know that love can heal, it uplifts, it reshapes you, so many ways that you've never imagined. So I
mm,
just wanted the song to reflect, the beauty of that journey, learning how to embrace love, whether it's romantic, self-love, or just love that we share with family and friends. So I just hope
mhm.
that the song resonates with people because it comes from a deep and personal experience from mine. And they say when it comes from the heart, it reaches the heart. So that's what I intend to do with this song. But I can't wait for you to hear it.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to it. So, what why right now? Why did you feel the need to like right now that this is what I have to do? This is the message I got to put out there.
Well, I love to sing, and that's the
Yes.
part of me that just will never go away. That's something that has been instilled with me since I was a little girl. And
Hmm.
music has been my therapy. And the reason I say now is because when it hits home and like when you have an assignment on your life, you don't have to ask, it just happens. And things that happen just happen that way. So with music, with me, when I feel it in my heart, I just give it that way. So it's always the right time for good music.
Yeah. What part of you mentioned earlier that your personal journey was part of the inspiration for the song? If you don't mind, what was part of that personal journey for you that led you to wanting to do the song?
Well, the ups and downs of life,
Hmm.
and then love from family and friends. Even the situation with my sister and I, we kind of haven't been on the right speaking terms.
Hmm.
And because even after the song Residuals, I was able to reach her through music. So that's
Mm.
how powerful it was. And I share my story because that's what it is. When you're writing songs, it's about storytelling. And I think the best way for me is coming from my heart and in personal experiences. I draw that way. That's the
Mm.
creative process for me. So it was important for me to tell my side, just speak from my heart. And I think people, when they know that it's real and it's genuine, it does something for them because I'm also hearing from them their stories. I had an
Mm.
interview the other day, and a young lady shared her story with me about her sister and that fact that because I sang the song, now she wanted to reach out. So the music is impactful in that way. And I think I have to do it this way because that's how it reaches others.
Yeah. That it's very interesting that you said that because, we always hear that families and people, they have love languages. And it
Hmm.
just makes sense since that's something that you and your sister share is music, that
Yes.
that's your love language and that you were able to reach her in that way. I think that's beautiful.
Man, and it's impactful, when you think about it. Even with my family, a lot of people have heard that song and now we're coming closer together because you get inundated with work and
Hmm.
so many different things in life, but that music that God has given me, that gift is allowing me to share it. And with that being said, I can't stop. I feel like I have a mission, an assignment on my life to do that. And you're right, that language my sister and I speak is still relevant today. Like we both use that to speak to one another when we're not around one another. And that's just a beautiful thing.
Hmm. And I also love the fact that you said that it's reaching others. So it's funny sometimes when when we concentrate on home and family first,
Hmm.
how that then that message, that ministry can spread and reach other people.
Yes. Speaking of ministry, that's where we're from, the church. So
Yes.
you know how that is. You listen to the pastor and you take all of the good things that he, tells you from biblical terms. So the same
Hmm.
thing with music. You take bits and pieces that what you need and you go out into the world and you be impactful in that way as well. So
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. And so then, being an R&B artist and a gospel artist, what's different about the two for you?
it's really not anything different. I'm singing songs that resonate with people, singing with conviction. The same way in church, you know how you get up in church and you sing a
Hmm.
song, and if the crowd is swaying, you just go harder. I come from a church that, listen, if you couldn't do it, they would tell you, like, girl, you need to sit down. But at the
Right.
yeah,
Have
but at the
have
end of the
several seats.
Oh, several seats. So I
Right.
come from a church that was very honest, and so when you're getting on the stage and you're singing songs, you're singing it to make sure that people feel it. And I've just taken that same approach in R&B. So R&B and gospel, it's nothing really different. You're singing, lyrics that you hope permeate people's hearts. So I don't know. It's just the same to me. I don't know. Other than
Hmm.
that, it's the same.
Yeah. What's the most unselfish thing about music for you?
The unselfish thing about music,
Yeah, yeah, the giving. What's behind the giving of music? That sharing of music.
the sharing of music. I think just unselfishly, just sharing your story, sharing how you
Hmm.
feel, sharing the emotions that come along with it. That's the unselfishness of it, and it doesn't have any color lines. Like it's colorblind.
Hmm. Hmm.
So to me, when I think of music, it's just that
Right. And why is it important for you to reach, this global audience with your music?
just using the gifts. I think that
Hmm.
when God gives you a gift, it's supposed to be shared. It's not just supposed to be
Absolutely.
put in a box and just where I'm from. Just being able to use it, I've been able to help shape people's lives, and people have come to me later saying, real stories like I was going to commit suicide, and I heard who can I run to, or I listened to you sing, or me being able to sit with young women and give my story, and and change their lives. So it's just important. Music does that, and I think that I don't want to be put in a box. So that's why
Hmm.
even with you saying gospel and R&B, who knows? The next thing may be country. I
Or
just
rock.
yeah, or absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And I think that for me as an artist is what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't want to put a ceiling or a cap on the gift. And when you do that, you explore so many different options and just reaching millions of people. And that's what the gift does.
Dropping, I love color hoodies, fly like soundtracks, 8 tracks, taking it back to LPs, that's a flashback. I lay down fashion on these streets like Beverly Hill asphalt. Got everyone driving clean, they can't help but feel the vibes. It's a full of soul. I'm from the East Coast where the rap game is gritty, spitting lyrics so raw they hit hard like the streets.
So, LaTocha, your journey in music, it's really been incredible and huge and envious for some people.
Oh
But
Lord.
but if we, come on now, you know I'm telling the truth.
Oh my. Yeah.
But if we rewind, what was that moment when you knew music was your calling, that it was your thing? And again, how much did that calling play into your church background?
Well, the calling definitely played a lot, when it comes down to my background. I grew up in a singing household. My father, a minister, a writer, a singer, my mother, a singer and a writer. That's all I heard every day. Just very powerful voices in the kitchen, around the house. And I was always mesmerized by it. And then my father also sang with his brothers, and they were called the
Mm,
Scott Three. And every day I would get up and just listen to the harmonies, and it inspired me to want to do that. And I think
mm.
the pivotal moment for me was when I was in church and everybody else was kind of doing speeches and getting up, and that just wasn't my thing. But my dad was like, grab the microphone, and I want you to sing this. And when
Mm,
I would sing, it was just something that kind of took over me. And I would look at the audience and I saw how it moved people. And I'm like,
mhm,
I can move people in this way. And it was just an unforgettable experience that I said, I have to take this everywhere I go. I want it. I have to do this.
mhm,
So I have to give that to the inspiration from my dad and my mother. My mother wrote so many scripts at the church, and it was just a thing for me. So I learned that at home, And that is where it comes from. And then also the church with the foundation that we have. So, man, that's just where it comes from.
Hmm. I'm in addition to, being a personality, I'm also a writer. But, when I was younger, it took me a minute to have faith,
Hmm.
to believe in my writing and then share it with
Hmm.
other people. Was there a similar journey for you when you began songwriting?
Almost. I think because I was very young and I saw that every day, when you're being taught how to do it, it's a little bit easier than just doing it on your own and just like, oh, this is what I like. Maybe somebody would like it. But
Hmm.
my dad would always instill that, like, he would include me on what he was doing, whether he was writing a song, and it made it a
Hmm.
lot easier for me. I will say, when I got on the stage, though, I was always shy. And I would close
Hmm.
my eyes, and sometimes he would say, "Open your eyes and look at everybody." And then when I would see the effect. So it was a gradual transition from being shy to the person that you see now. But it's
Hmm.
always that way when you have something and you're just trying to make sure, is this something, is this real? Do people, will people
Hmm.
like it? So I truly understand what you're saying. But for me, my dad, he kind of ushered that in for me to say, okay, and he made me stronger with the pen as well. Cause I would do things, he like, nope, try it again, and he
Hmm.
would sing something and I would try to mimic it. So it made it a little bit easier for me when it came to songwriting. Now, when I got in the industry though, as a female, that was hard because a
Mm.
lot of everything was male dominated. And a lot of times I would try to write in the beginning and they were like, okay, you don't know this part. Let us help you. And it would be
Wow.
a song, written by Jermaine Dupri or someone else. But I would always try to infuse whatever it was, because I was the reason that we even had Living in Vain on the album. Because I'm
Hmm.
like, we have to do a gospel. So I was kind of learning the business at the same time. It was very tough in the
Hmm.
beginning with
Yeah.
songwriting.
How did you find your power being a woman in the industry? What gave you finally to say like, okay, I've got to, I have to have, as Beyonce would say, I had to find my own voice. You know?
Listen, and
Yes.
listen, that's an ongoing process, to be honest with you.
Truth.
I found my voice after Jermaine kind of listened, with a lot of the things that were going on with harmonies, and I would say, try this, and when we would try it and became successful, is when
Hmm.
he started to listen. So I would say the success had a lot to do with it, because when Living in Vain came out, I think he didn't even know who the Clark sisters were. And it was important for me because I grew up listening to the Clark sisters. And I'm
Hmm.
like, we have to pay homage to them. At the same time, I want to stay true to what this is. So it was always a process. Nothing was ever easy. And I think even now I have to kick down doors, but I'm okay doing it. I'm okay
Hmm.
doing it because somebody behind me is going to come and say, okay, she opened that door for me. And that's important. The same way Patti LaBelle, Whitney
Hmm.
Houston, Jody Watley opened the doors for me. So yes, I have to be that. But no, it's work in progress to be a female and be, operating in this space.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned a lot of influences, including the church. So you have the church, and then you have all of those fantastic female artists that you just
Oh,
mentioned. How do you find your own voice and incorporate those influences, but still have your own unique style?
it's cool to be inspired by people. I think
Hmm.
that's important as we're walking through life. You take a little bit of here, a little bit from that person, and you gain, strength and knowledge. But at the end of the day, you always have to be true to self.
Hmm.
And that has been instilled with me, early on. Know who you are. And when you know that, you can take certain bits and pieces and still remain, authentically you. And that's the most important part. Just being you. And it's not easy for some people because you get sidetracked because a lot of times things are trendy. But me coming into this industry, it's like it was important for me. First of all, I'm faith driven and to
Hmm.
remain just steadfast in what that is and not changing. I'm not a seesaw. I don't sit on the fence. A lot of people like, girl, you either like it or don't. I'm like, well, that's who I am. So just stay committed to who I am. And I would advise anybody in this industry, even if you want to get in the industry, know who you are, because
Hmm.
so many times people can tell you things, and if you don't know how to say no, you will do things that are not in line with your purpose or not in line with your
Mm.
assignment. So I'm very careful, just be, with that, being me.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you learn like on so that's, a broader sense of finding your voice. But
Hmm.
did you learn any lessons from those ladies when it comes to like business, how you handle your business in music?
Handling business, not so much because I never really had the business conversations with them.
Mm-hmm.
But just being confident and being a female in the industry and staying, committed to your true self is what I learned from all of them, especially
Mm-hmm.
Whitney Houston. And we did have conversations just about love and family, and Patti LaBelle as well, just the way that she's been able to structure her life and go on to be an entrepreneur. So certain
Mm-hmm.
things I've learned just watching them. But as far as the conversations of just the business side of things, no, not so much. But as I watch them, I'm learning because the mistakes
Mm.
that they've made and the things that they've been able to overcome have helped me in my life. So big ups to them. I stand on their shoulders, and I'm proud to say that those people have inspired me so many ways.
Yeah. So we've talked about the music, the voice, the some of the influences, but what about style, LaTocha? For me, I think that you have an impeccable, style when it comes to your stage presence. So
Thank you.
how much does your fashion and style play into your confidence or how you connect with the audience?
I don't know. When I speak to people at meet and greets, they always say, "Girl, you touch me when you kicked your foot up or you started singing, and you got to have the ugly face. You can't have that pretty face when you're singing." So I think when I'm singing, it's just that. I think I'm all the way in it. I'm all the way involved. I'm in the lyrics. I'm emotional. So that emotion just transfers to people, and they always come up to me. So I don't know if it's a style. I just think that I just sing with conviction because I understand what the music is. I understand what the lyrics entail. So
Hmm.
if that's what the style is, then so be. I guess that's the style of LaTocha, And
Yeah.
sometimes, to be honest, Keith, I'm not even aware that I'm kicking up my leg. But every time I get off the stage, people like, "Girl, when that leg went up, let me tell you something. I felt it. So I'm like, wow. So I guess that's like a signature thing for me. But just
Yes.
being I get in it. I'm all the
Hmm.
way in when it comes down to the lyrics and just performing. And I love that part because you
Hmm.
connect with people so much that way. And I'm looking in the audience in the same way like it was in church when as a little girl. When I see you swaying and singing along and snapping your fingers and you're dancing, I feel like that's something that my gift has touched you. And I have to keep that going. So yeah, I don't know. Is it a
Yeah.
signature? Is it a style? Is that what that is, Keith?
It's a flow, it's a vibe.
Oh, okay. It's a vibe. I got it. Yes, I like it.
Yeah. And what about fashion? We talk about the style of, like I said, your vibe. What
Yes.
about fashion? Much does fashion play into your persona?
Well, I've evolved
Yeah.
through the years of Xscape. Because keep in mind, we had the baggy jeans on and we were dressed by a male, which is, I love it. We were
Right.
learning as we were going along. But everything has been an evolution for me. And I'm still evolving. I'm looking at, high couture, like high fashion now. And I
Hmm.
love it because I'm taking pictures and people are like, "Oh my gosh, you look so debonair. You look so cute." And I'm like, wow, is this what it comes down to? But I like being a girly girl and putting on
Hmm.
those clothes. And at the end of the day, it's not the clothes that define me. It's not what's on me. It's what's in me. And I think
Hmm.
what's in me, I'm just gonna continue to share. But yeah, if you see me with the couture on, just know that it's a beautiful dress that LaTocha is wearing. But inside, I want people to know that I have so much love to give. Every day, and that's what I strive for, just giving love and being positive and being impactful. So if it's the clothes, if it's the kicking of the leg, if it's you see me, at the shows and you coming backstage, I just want to give love and let people know that I understand. I see you because I understand
Yes.
what it is to live in this life and go through ups and downs and sing good songs and love on my people. So that's what it is for me.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm glad that you talked about that emotional, part of music for you.
Yes.
But I'm always curious with being an artist because, I was an artist in the past. Well, I guess you're always an artist, but you know what I
Oh
mean.
yes. Oh yes,
Yeah,
for sure. Hmm.
but part of it is that love of the art, but then some of it is ego. We do want those positive strokes and that positive feedback
Mm-hmm.
from people. How do you level that in your mind, and then how much of it for you is wanting that positive feedback from people, and then some of it or a lot of it sharing your talent with people?
Well, I like to, since you said ego, so I'll put them together. I'm emotional about my craft, and you do
Mm,
have to have a sort of ego in this industry to let people know, look, no, I have staying power. I'm confident in what it is. So let's put it together and say emotional. So
Oh,
I'm
come on now.
emotional.
Come on
I'm
with
an emotional.
emotional.
I'm an emotional artist, person, and of course, when you're singing, you want people to feel it, and it resonates in that way. But at the end of the day, yeah, as an artist, you're serious about your craft. You know, you hone in on what that is, and
Hmm.
you take that everywhere you go. You take it in stride. But for me, yeah, I'm an emotional artist. So yeah,
Yes.
you have to have a little bit of ego.
You
You
have to
do.
have a little bit of ego. So,
Yeah.
Latasha, this business is no joke. Music is no joke. I started out in A&R, so I
Oh, yes. No,
know.
no. Yes. That's
Yes,
the beginning. That's the artist
yes,
development. That's getting, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
no. Who's your? It's so important to have somebody that has your back, or somebodies that
Mm-hmm.
have your back. Who is
Yeah.
that? Who is that for you, or who has that been for you, and who is that for you now?
There's not one particular person that I feel outside of God that's really put into me. I would have to say I have a village, I have a family, I have
Hmm.
people around me who are very genuine, and I keep them around me, and I cherish that because so many times you have yes men and they tell you, oh, you're just this and that, you're great. I have people around me that keep it up 100 every single day.
Hmm.
And it's helped me to be the person that you know that you see. So my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my friends, the people that work with me, they keep me
Hmm.
updated and every day, like my everything's to the pulse, like everything is there. So I say my family, my village that I have, they keep me going. They keep me committed to doing the right thing and also allow me to be vulnerable. Because in
Mm.
this space, it's very hard because you let yourself out and everybody take advantage of all of the things
Hmm.
that you hold to be true. So I surround myself with people who first of all love God, that have my best interests, and those who are going to be very genuine and honest with me. And that way I can be vulnerable, even in my music. Those people don't see the people that kind of support you and they go, oh, you're
Hmm.
just a big superstar. But I have a team of people that help me be who you guys see. So, and I'm
Hmm.
very thankful for that. But it's not one particular person. I'll say God first, but my family for sure.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And why is it important to, to have those inner circles, Latasha? I mean, like, especially in this social media,
Hmm.
era, we see people, they put it out there, all over the place whenever they're going through something. But why is it important to you to have that inner circle and that safety net as opposed to just blasting everything on social media?
It's important for my mental.
Hmm.
It's important for my spiritual as well because I can go and speak to my grandmother and it's a whole different conversation than speaking with my friends. My grandmother's going to give me wisdom well beyond my years and give me the spiritual connection that I need to stay grounded. Um, my mother, she gives me and just advice on my family and relationships. So it's just important to have so many different people to kind of steer you in the right direction.
Hmm.
Always let God be the pilot, but you always have to make sure that the maintenance is taken care of on any plane or anywhere that you're going. You have to have those people to make sure that it runs properly. And I have those people that tweak me, have those
Mm.
people that keep me sane. But it's about the mental and the spiritual part of everything for me.
Hmm. I love that.
Dropping our love color hoodies, fly like soundtracks, 8 tracks, taking it back to LPs, that's a flashback. I lay down fashion on these streets like Beverly Hill asphalt. Got everyone driving clean, they can't help but feel the vibes. It's a full of soul. I'm from the East Coast where the rap game is gritty, spitting lyrics so raw they hit hard like the streets.
So, outside of music, Latasha, how important is it for artists to expand their brands for, not only for, financial growth, but then also for sustainability and stability?
Well, it's important for you to always share whatever it is that you have. Your entrepreneurial hat is allows you to maintain and have money later. They
Hmm.
talk about that later money, and that's what that is. But also being able to use your gifts and talents to share. I know for me, I put out a cookbook in 2020. 2020 was just one of the craziest years that I can even imagine, and we all can
Hmm.
imagine with the COVID hitting. And I always said, I wanted to walk in my purpose. And I noticed that I wasn't able to go out and sing. Me gracing the stage is everything to me, but I could not
Hmm.
do that. And I went to God and I was like, I want to continue to walk in my purpose. What do I do? and he just put it on my heart because we toured in 2017 and 2018, and there were so many people coming up to me saying, "Hey, LaTocha, how did you lose the weight?" And I was trying to give
Mm.
them everything and like in a crash course, like you do this, you do that. But 2020 came and God goes, "You remember the people that were asking? They're still walking in your purpose. Tell them about healthy eating. Take
Mm-hmm.
to the cookbook." So I ended up writing a cookbook and sharing my story about, being a big girl in the industry and how I was talked about in that way and learning how to create a lifestyle for myself, with better eating habits. So
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't put that entrepreneur hat on, I wouldn't have the things with people calling me now saying, I changed their lives with food because they were
Mm-hmm.
calling. Some people were like, okay, my dad had diabetes and now he has it no more.
Mm.
Cancer has gone away. So it was all about eating healthy. But if I never had taken the time to say, let me do something different outside of music, then I wouldn't even know that I was impactful in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So you always got to go back to, if it's something in your heart to do, go do it. Sometimes we get people say, "Oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that." But if it's in your heart to do it because you never know the outcome, and not just for your personal experience, but what you can do
Mm-hmm.
for others. So I would
Mm-hmm.
tell people that go for it. Don't stop. Don't let the ceiling be the cap.
Yeah.
And don't let people tell you, just because they're negative, don't let that be your outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what I like what you said about, the body shaming element of the industry is
Hmm.
that yeah, it might have affected you on a personal, level, hearing that, but then you also realize that there were health benefits
Yes.
behind it as well. So it was truly a life change, and not just because some men and possibly some women said, "Oh, this is what you're supposed to look like."
Right, in the industry. And you keep in mind, we came out in the 90s, and back
Mm-hmm.
then women were wearing fitted dresses. You had people, they were looking cute and doing their thing, and we came out with baggy pants. And after a while, people started to kind of point fingers, and I was always,
Mm.
the one. They was like, "Okay, you get to the back because you're bigger than the rest of the
Wow.
girls." So yeah, that was very hurtful. But I just took that in stride and said, "You know what, I can do something about this. Let me turn my life around." And then in doing that, didn't even know that God was shaping me to help other people. So when I'm
Mm.
talking to young girls now, and some of them may be a little overweight, and I say, "Listen, you can change your life." And I've been able to do that, just telling them how to eat. So sometimes we
Mm-hmm.
go through things not knowing that it's not just for us, it's for other people. And that's why it goes back to what you were saying. It's cool to be an entrepreneur. It's cool to
Mm-hmm.
do other things because you never know through your past experiences how you touch lives. And I always tell people, don't let the past be, your anchor. Let it be your launching pad. So
Mm.
that's something that you take and you launch certain things to become successful, and then you gain money from that as well. So you're winning on both
Absolutely.
sides.
That's right.
It's a win-win. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that, and I think that more people should understand. They always say, if you're doing something you love, you never work a day in your life.
Yes.
But also if you're doing something that you're passionate about and where you're able to help other people and you're
Mhm.
able to get paid, that's
Yeah.
that's real
That's a win.
fulfilling.
Listen, that's a win-win. That's how I look at it. And it's still being fulfilled. You're
Hmm.
still being fulfilled in an amazing way.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about some of your business ventures. Let us know what you're doing, Latasha.
Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I have the Maid Girl. I have my Maid Girl clothing line,
Hmm.
and it is an athleisure wear for women. And I've always felt like, listen, this is the highest form of Pima. When you put these clothes on, you just feel confident. You feel comfortable.
Mm.
And so many times we don't feel comfortable in our skin, and that's just the correlation that I wanted women to feel powerful in these clothes. So I have the Maid Girl athleisure wear. And then I also have my foundation where I give back and I empower young girls to find their voice and to be strengthened in the arts. So, I go out and sometimes they come to me and we go to the studios and we sit down and I allow them to see what the business is like. Because sometimes they
Mm.
want to get in the business. They don't know the nuances about it. And they go, "I just want to be a singer," until I take them in the studio and it's hours and hours. And they go, "Oh, no, well, I'd rather be an engineer or I'd rather be a
Hmm.
writer," because they
Right.
see the long hours that are put in. Or they say, "I don't want to do this at all." But I feel like the platform that I have is for that. So I have the foundation. What else
Mhm.
do I have going on? I have the cookbook. That I have a cookbook already out, and I have a new one that I'm working on. So just keeping my name out there and staying, passionate about what I'm doing. Because when you're passionate, people feel it. And then one
Mhm.
day opening up a restaurant, I'm really looking forward to that, where people can come out and get real good soul food, and
Yeah.
I come and love on them, and all of that.
Yeah, that's so when you're working with these young people, I won't just say
Yes,
young women
young
because I'm
adults, young adults.
yes, yeah, when you're working with these young adults,
Yeah.
what are some of the most common questions that they ask you, and what are some of the most common answers that you give them?
Well, first of all, a lot of them say, "How much money you make?" I'm like, "Wait a minute."
You in my pocket right now. You
We're
in my
trying to,
pocket.
yeah, yeah. Let's see how much work it takes to get to this. So they
Right.
asked me that, and they asked me, "Did it happen overnight?" And I go, "No, this is all
Hmm.
work in progress." They also ask, "Was it easy?" And I tell them no. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just transparent and very honest with them. And I think with me talking to them, I share more light, and they see themselves. A lot of
Hmm.
times when we were younger, I didn't see me on television talking about cooking and
Hmm.
plant based. So I'm
Right.
giving them it's okay to say, oh no, I saw Tasha do it. It's possible. So that just having the possibility. So yeah, they ask me millions of questions, Keith. I mean, some very personal, and some just they really want to know about the business. They really want to see, and I want to teach them because you sometimes books just don't do it. You have to kind
Hmm.
of be hands on, and I give them the hands on approach, and it's just powerful to see, and they get it. They really do
Yes.
get it.
Yeah. What's next for LaTocha?
I'm just going to continue to evolve.
Hmm.
I'm going to continue to touch lives and be impactful through music. And who knows? I mean, I don't know. It's so many things. Maybe acting is in my future.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Where you want to start? Stage, film, TV?
Film and TV. I've always done the little silly reality shows, but I
Right.
want something. I love sci-fi too, so I want to do something in that space. People are like, is that Tasha? I always want to evolve and do something different. So music, impacting people in that way, and just having staying power and being a light. That's what you want to be.
Yes.
Being a light.
All right. LaTocha, where can everybody find you on social media? Find out more about your music, get some advice, find out where they can get some good soul food.
Yes. Well, I try to keep everything kind of like handled in a single way. So it's I am LaTocha on my social media. It's I am LATOCHA. And then I am LaTocha at gmail.com if you have questions or you want to come and just talk to me. And then I also have my cookbook and everything on LaTocha's Planet Lifestyle.com.
All
So
right.
those, yep.
And where can they
Mhm.
find the new track? Or when is it coming out?
The track is coming out in a week. So
Okay.
yes, on all digital platforms, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, anywhere that it's all over.
Yes.
So you guys can find me, and hopefully in a city near you. I want to do a little bit more. I want to come out and love on the people. So I want to be in every city real soon. So I'm gonna get my tour bus ready and my
All
team
right.
ready.
All
Yes.
right.
So I
All
can come
right.
sing for y'all, cook for y'all, and just love on everybody. So, and thank you so much, Keith, for providing this platform for me to tell my story. And I just love it. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, and thank you, LaTocha. I really appreciate it. R&B, gospel, singer, songwriter, LaTocha. Thank you for joining me. I'm just so happy you were able to join me today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you guys. I love y'all. Thank you for the support.
All right, take care now. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right. Bye bye.
Be sure to follow me, Keith Underwood, at Mr. Keith L. Underwood on IG. You can also follow me on FB at Keith L. Underwood. And you gotta follow Black in the Green Room at Black in the Green Room across all platforms. Until next time, this has been Black in the Green Room.